On a routine away mission checking in on a science team, Chekov is frightened by the corpse of an extremely old man in Federation threads. Two elderly folks appear and say they're also from the expedition, claiming they're in their 20s.
Jen, if you're gonna start lying about your age, I'd go with 27.
They quickly deduce that something happened on that planet to the scientists that's caused them to develop extreme progeria. An endocrinologist named Dr. Janet Wallace is brought aboard to consult on the problem. And she's also Kirk's ex-girlfriend. Because of course. The last member of the science team passes in sickbay. Meanwhile, members of the landing party have started showing concerning symptoms. Arthritis, hearing loss, gray hair. Kirk in particular starts having trouble remembering things. The landing party, like the science team, is rapidly aging. Even Spock, who is aging, but slightly slower than the others, probably due to the longer Vulcan lifespan. Spock and McCoy estimate that at the current rate of aging, the crew members will have less than a week to live, and even less time to remain mentally lucid. Chekov strangely seems to be the only one immune. Dr. Wallace is like, Jimmy, your saggy old ass and receding hairline are so hot. Let's get back together. And Jim is like, what, do you have a senior citizen fetish? As Kirk's condition advances, he grows more irritable and forgetful. He falls asleep on the bridge during duty at one point. Spock gently wakes him up to inform him that the progeria has been caused by exposure to radiation from a passing comet. Commodore Stalker, who's being transported by the Enterprise to Starbase 10, but whose trip has been held up by the investigation into the sudden aging, approaches Spock and expresses concerns about Kirk's command capabilities given his deteriorating state of mind. He asks Spock to relieve Kirk of duty. Spock is reluctant to do so because of his loyalty to Jim, but he agrees for the sake of the ship to call a competency hearing. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Galway, of just 24 years of age, drops dead. Despite Kirk's protests, his competency hearing proceeds. Spock questions several members of the crew, providing evidence of Kirk's inability. Commodore Stalker declares that he'll be taking command and orders the ship to Starbase 10 immediately. Spock informs Kirk that he's been relieved, and Kirk angrily accuses Spock of betraying him so that he could steal command. Kirk and Spock rarely get angry with each other, so this is hard to watch. Especially since we know that if Kirk were in his right mind, he would never say such a thing. Kirk has never questioned his faith in Spock, not even when Spock's actions and behavior were highly suspicious.
You traitorous. Disloyal. You stabbed me in the back the first chance you get. Get out. I never want to have to look at you again.
I hate this game of emotions we play!
Finally, in sickbay, the gang remembers that Chekov was startled by the dead body and guessed that the rush of adrenaline he must have experienced immunized him from the effects of the radiation, which is why he isn't aging like the rest. Spock and the med staff get to work on a potential cure. Meanwhile, Stalker has ordered the Enterprise to take a path through the highly verboten Romulan neutral zone. When the ship expectedly comes under fire, Stalker freezes under pressure, having never had field experience before. Jim, desperate to reclaim command, orders Spock to give him the first experimental dose of the cure, reasoning that even if it kills him, he's going to die anyway, either due to the aging or the Romulans tearing the ship apart. Stalker is in way over his head against the Romulan warbirds and suggests surrender, only for Chekov to inform him that Romulans take no prisoners. Kirk then emerges, back to his old young self, and sneakily sends a fake message to Starfleet Command, knowing the Romulans will pick it up. He announces that he's going to detonate the Corbomite device aboard the Enterprise, self-destructing the ship and taking the Romulan vessels with it, a callback to Jim's brilliant strategy in the Corbomite maneuver from Season 1. Kirk's gambit works and the Romulans retreat, allowing the Enterprise to flee back to safe Federation space. Stalker eats a bit of humble pie, Bones, Scotty, and Spock receive their antidotes, and all is well.
I served absolutely no purpose.
It's kind of funny to look at the old age makeup jobs in this episode from a 2023 standpoint because we know now what these actors actually looked like when they got old. The makeup was a big pain in the ass for all the actors, particularly Bill Shatner.
Bob, don't cut. Don't cut. Bob Justman, I'm going home now. I'm going to spend 3 hours on the makeup table putting this makeup back on. And it's your fault.
Regardless, you can't get too mad about the makeup looking terrible. Normally, the makeup artist for the episode, Fred B. Phillips, would have had a month to work with the latex prosthetics, but he only had 10 days. I don't understand how this Stalker guy ever got to the rank of Commodore in the first place, since according to Kirk, he's just some gormless bureaucrat. First, he pushes Kirk to abandon the investigation into the progeria because he just wants to get to his new command post. The dying Enterprisers, I guess. Then he straight up flies right into the Romulan neutral zone like he wants to start a war. Maybe his mommy or daddy is an admiral, maybe that's how he got the posting. All joking aside, this episode is kind of painful for me to watch. It all hits a little too close to home because I have watched someone close to me slowly lose their facilities to dementia, and it's all too similar to Kirk's plight in this episode. Dementia is an ugly, ugly disease. It chips away at the patient's personality. It turns their mind against reality and against their loved ones. And you know that as much as it hurts you to see the patient change like this, it must be even more torturous for them. Imagine feeling totally helpless and like you can't trust the people around you. For a dementia patient, life must feel like a nightmare one can't wake up from. My personal feelings aside, this episode is about a 5 or 6 out of 10 for me. It's interesting for the interpersonal drama, but not much else. You can give it a watch if you like, but it's skippable. Sorry about the short video this time. I've been working on several projects that I hope to have out soon, but y'all didn't deserve to have to wait on the next Trek review. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.